Hey, you guys, welcome back to the video. What I want to talk about in this particular video is specifically what's going on inside of you guys' individual businesses. Okay, your individual, and it doesn't even have to be commercial or residential cleaning, it can be any other industry that you guys operate in. And the reason I felt compelled to do that is because, like I say, I have been getting emails, trying to catch up on them at least. And I see a common denominator in terms of the questions that I get asked, and it's mostly, how I get a contract. Now, why I have so many videos about that specific topic here, it's just something uh, that I'm not sure what's going on in you guys' individual business. So I wanted to go live. I wanted to talk specifically about you guys' particular businesses. So what I'm going to do, this is going to be more like a Q&A. I'm going to talk about other things too. Um, I'm going to talk about other things too in terms of just the business as a whole, right? And it's a lot of stuff that you've heard before, okay? But I want to talk, I want to deal with you. It's almost like a free coaching here, right? Whereas I would do a coaching call and ask you guys questions, what's going on with your business, where you need help. How do you have subcontractors? Are you, W-2 and different things like that, right? So I want to kind of get inside of you guys' business and maybe I can help you with something here on this live, okay? Um, it all equates to definitely motivation, okay? So you're going to hear me talk a lot about that, as I always do, just about any other video, because at the end of the day, if you don't have that motivation, you're just not going to want to do it, right? Um, also, what I want to talk about, and I took some notes here, I jotted a few things down because I'm coming from a different angle with this particular live. Um, One thing I want to address real quick, um, and it's a question that I received on an email. I jotted it down a little bit, and a person told me that they had gotten fired from a residential job because they were sending different people to the home. Okay, here's the thing, guys. When you're doing your training, it's okay to do that cross training, right? In terms of having backup people available when someone call off or when they quit on you, right? Because otherwise, if you are a small operation, right, and let's say you have, I don't know, 3 to 4 people, and you're sending different people to different, to different homes, what happened is, man, is that what the way I clean and the way another individual clean might be different, okay? And the homeowners in this particular example can identify that. They know, well, this wasn't done this way, this is usually done that way, and they'll be able to pick stuff out, right? They'll be able to dissect certain things. Okay, so what I would suggest you do, let's say you have 10 houses, right? And so the 10 residential clients that you have, and let's say you have only, including yourself, maybe 3 people. So there's a total of 4 people, right? What you want to do is assign a specific address to a specific employee, right? And then have that employee do that address every week or bi-weekly or however often you go and clean that specific home. And I would suggest you do the same thing with your uh, commercial accounts, okay? Because at the end of the day, like I say, it's just going to make things a lot difficult. It's going to make things lopsided. You don't want the client to get used to seeing multiple people, right, cleaning his or her home or cleaning his or her facility or building or whatever, right? So you want to send the same person to the same site every single day, every single week, every single month, okay? And it makes it a lot easier, okay? Now, you do want to, for those that might be open to making some extra money on call-offs or quits, when people quit, you do want to have maybe 1 or 2 people that you cross-train in the event that somebody quit. You can use them as a substitute person to go ahead and clean that facility or clean that home until you hire a full-term or a full-term new person on, right? So you'll use this person as a part-time person because they've been cross-trained in terms of how to clean the building or how to clean this home. And then you hire someone else, you train them fully on how to do that job, or you have the person that train them on how to clean that specific facility or a specific home. Hopefully that makes sense to you guys, okay? Because like I say, I received an email and one person, I guess, lost a residential account or a couple residential accounts. And you don't want to get used to doing that, okay? So you can assign, so you can have, like I said, you can have 2 or 3 people working for you, and then you just assign different addresses to different people, or assign different sites to different people where they go to that specific site every single day or every single week or whatever, every single month, however often you go, right? Once again, you do not, if you're taking notes, you do not want to get your client used to seeing different personnel or different people cleaning his or her home or his and her building, okay? Because a lot of times, man, like I say, and I said this before in other videos, a lot of times what happened is they get used to seeing the same face, right? They know you by name. They know a little bit about you. A lot of times they have conversation with you, just short conversation with you. So you want to kind of keep that, you want to kind of keep that going, because the more they get used to your specific worker or this specific worker, the better it is. Let me see here. Hey, what's up? Walter, Marcus say he's happy to catch me live from Memphis, Tennessee. Salute, bro. My name is Sheldon. I'm the owner of Cleaning Solutions, LLC. That's a great name. I'm still getting my paperwork together. I plan to launch. Okay, great. Yeah, just definitely work on it. Let me see. What's his name again? Sheldon. Yeah, just launch November the 16th. Okay, and I like that because you got a specific date, right? Just keep going. Just keep going, Sheldon. You can definitely do it, dude. It won't be easy, but just stay at it, right? Just stay at it. So again, like I say, I wrote a few things down. Another thing that I want to talk about, guys, if you have any questions at any time in regards, we're talking about the inner business part of it, okay? Not specifically nailing one set, so I'm going to be all over the place with this video. If you have a question about whatever, right, no matter how technical it is, if I can't answer it right now, I will get back with you. I won't act like I know something and I don't know it. I'll let you guys know I don't know an answer for that, but I can get back with you or have my people get back with you, okay? Another thing that I want to suggest that you guys do when you start up your business, you always kind of want you always kind of want to know what the industry as a whole is doing in terms of revenue. What the industry revenue is. You kind of want to know like what your competitors are doing, so you want to kind of keep a watchful eye, and that's whether it's independent cleaning company or a franchise. Okay, you kind of want to know the logistics. Okay, any new state-of-the-art equipment, you want to kind of stay intertwined with that. You want to know what's going on. And a lot of the answers you guys can get for a lot of people, because a lot of people want to know, like, how can I get direct answers? I would suggest, and I did this early on, and I should have probably been told you guys this, I haven't even thought about it until now. A lot of your answers you can get by calling your local janitor supply store. So by calling your local janitor supply store, a lot of times they've been doing it for some time. They know a lot about the products and the chemicals and the solutions that you use. They know a lot about the equipment that you use. They know the best equipment to use, what not to use on what floors, what not to use on what carpet, or whatever the case is, right? So they have a lot of answers. And a lot of times, a lot of these, especially the bigger brand janitor supply stores or janitor supply houses have classes, in-house classes, where you can get certain certifications. Now, a lot of times people ask me, Fabio, do I need to be certified, or do I need certain certifications? And you don't need it, but it is helpful. To me, the certifications are just as good as maybe a high school diploma or a college degree, I should say. High school diploma, I wouldn't tell nobody not to get that, but a college degree. Okay, college, I have a college degree. It hasn't helped me as uh, as much as I probably thought it would help me, because the information, what they taught me in college, is theory opposed to what I do in the real world, right? It's night and day, so to speak, right? So it's kind of theory. It kind of give you a sense of direction, but I didn't necessarily have to utilize anything per se that I learned in college that really helped me in the business world. By the time I graduated college and stepped out, times has changed. The information was dated. It was obsolete a little bit. The marketing tactics and different things like that, right? It was a little old, kind of older information. So a lot of times, like I say, you can get these different certifications, but it's not something that you must have, and it's not something that you have to have immediately. Okay, if that makes sense to you guys. So I just kind of want to put that out there. Like I say, always stay hip to the trends in the industry. And what I want to tell you guys, I'm a firm believer of this, is never be afraid to set the trend. Okay, never be afraid to set the trend. Don't think because your competition haven't done it, or you haven't heard that somebody did certain things or had done certain things, don't think that it can't be done in our industry. Okay, so you want to always want to stay educated on the industry. You always want to do, your research. I'm not necessarily saying you have to go buy a bunch of books and courses and tapes and different things like that, right? Why that might be helpful, again, the industry is changing, right? So the way that we're operating, because it's from what I'm seeing, like even online when I do kind of research, I'm seeing new strategies and different techniques and different things that um, was done like in a day that people are taking out to the internet to do. Like they're doing a lot of different new things online. Okay, well, I won't discuss that. I'm kind of exploring and kind of looking to certain things. That way, once I get more educated on it and kind of see how it works, I'll be able to help you guys out, if that makes sense. I don't want to kind of go into any specific thing without trying and without knowing if it works, and trying to give you guys advice about something that I haven't done yet. Okay, so hopefully that makes a great deal of sense to you guys. To simplify this, because you guys know I'm a simple guy when it comes down to it. I'm not really big on a lot of paperwork and right, it's 8 pages for a contract and that type of thing. I'm kind of night and day. There's really no gray area with me. So here's what I want to say, and I probably said this before, but I'm gonna say it again, guys. When you first enter into our business, when you first go in and you're going and you're doing your door to door, you're doing your phone calls. When you first go in, keep everything simplified. Okay, there's a lot of contracts that came my way, or a lot of not contracts or agreements that came my way. Thank you for all you do. You're watching for a year. Close my first something. Thanks, dude. Thanks. I'm glad that I was able to help you. I'm glad that I was able to help you keep going. And don't forget, guys, if you guys watch my videos or ordered something through me or did my coaching and I helped you, send those emails to me. Okay, just send them to me, because we use that. Okay, I like to use that. I get kicks off of that. I got a folder full of emails that we actually printed off, and I just kind of read, different emails and see how far people came, and I reach back out. So if you got a like a testimonial or something going on where I said one thing or did one thing, or you ordered something from me, or you did a coaching or something, and I said one thing to help you, get that information over, and maybe I could tell your story on my next, live video, or even have some of you guys on live if you don't mind doing so. Okay, so but to get back to simplifying everything, you want to stay simplified. You want to keep it simplified. You don't want to have a long, exaggerated contract. You do want a contract or agreement to be professional. Now, there's a lot of free ones on the internet. You can pick off different ones, right? At the end of the day, you will be judged by that. Okay, so you want to kind of create that image. I used to say back in the day, don't worry about the image. It doesn't matter. Just go in, start with what you can start with. Okay, what I'm not saying is that you have to spend a lot of time on the image up front, right? But you do want to seem or come across or have that perception of being professional, right? Because I tell people all the time, you're going to be judged based upon the way you look, because they don't know how you clean in the beginning. Okay. When you walk into the facility, they don't know if you're the best cleaner in your area. They don't know if you're the worst cleaner in your area, but they'll know once they hire you. But what they do know up front is the way you look. Okay. So you wanna create that image that you're professional, that you know your stuff, right? If they ask you a question and you don't have the answer right away, don't be ashamed to tell them that you're not familiar with that or you don't know that right now. Okay. 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 What you have to do, Marcus, is email. You go ahead and email me, and my assistant Jasmine, she will be able to get that information over to you. Just put your number in there. I could talk to you personally and give you a call and kind of help you with that. Okay. That's book FabioHart@gmail.com. BOOKF like Frank, A like Apple, B like boy, IOHART@gmail.com. Book FabioHart@gmail.com. If you got any questions about any forms or anything of that sort, okay, coaching or whatever, okay. But to get back onto this, guys, keep everything simplified. Okay. Some people think they have to have all of the equipment up front. You don't. Okay. You can start with what you have at home. Okay. So if you have a vacuum cleaner, you have a couple brooms, a dustpan, right? Because what you have to think is that a lot of this cleaning is going to happen in the evening hours, right? The client isn't going to be there. So they don't necessarily know what you use to clean the facility, right? They don't know that you brought your broom from home or that you use your vac, right? But what I don't want you to do is get so, let me see here. You talk about this stuff. I purchased 300 cold calling. Let me see here. Eric Ortiz talking about a single customer. I don't know, Eric. It could be something on your part, but go ahead and email me. We'll talk about it, okay? But don't get me wrong. I'm happy because you help a lot of people with the video. Yeah. Yeah, just shoot me an email, dude, or with your phone number. We'll talk and see how we can assist you better. Okay, see what went wrong on your end. Because when anybody join with the lead generation, it usually comes down to maybe the area demographics. It usually comes down to, you know, a bunch of wrong numbers, different things like that. So what we can do is discuss that. You just shoot me an email. I'll give you a call and we'll talk about it, dude, if that works. But like I say, you want to keep everything simplified. You want to keep everything simplified, guys, from your agreements to you want it to be professional, but you want to simplify it. Okay. You don't, because like when somebody give you a contract and they give you 20 pages, you really don't want to read that. Right. So I'm trying to get you guys in the mindset to keep it simple, but be professional. You don't want to keep it simple and then be cheesy, right? Because then you're going to be judged by that. Okay. Even with the way you look, right? You don't have to have a 3-piece suit on, but you might want to have a nice button-up shirt if you're a guy, some Dockers, some khaki pants, some nice comfortable walking shoes, because you're going to be doing a lot of walking, not only door to door, but you're going to be doing a lot of walking when you walking around the facility. Okay, if that makes sense. So you want to be comfortable, but be professional. Okay. The thing that I'm a big fan of, and I said this on other videos, and I get asked this question all the time, set up package deals, guys. Those are phenomenal in the very beginning. Set up package deals, like for these smaller size accounts, right? Your 2,000 square foot accounts, your 3,000 square foot accounts, your 5,000 square. These are relatively small accounts. They're not really a lot of space, right? Those accounts, man, you can go in at $45 per hour. You can go in at, you know, $50 per hour, $55 per hour, or I'm sorry, not per hour, but per job, right? Per job. You can go in at like $50 per job and flat rate, because I always thought that you'll lose money on a smaller size account, because if it take you 2 hours and let's say you charge $15 an hour, then that's only, you know, 30 bucks, right? 15 times 2, right? 30 bucks. And it took you 2 hours, but you can do 2 hours and maybe generate 60 bucks, right? As a flat rate. So I'm really big on that. Keep the prices down in the very beginning. And that's what I did. Now, the caveat to that is it might be hard to staff that a little later. you will get in the door, you get the revenue and that type of thing, right? Because if you go in and you're trying to make big money really, really fast, you're not proven, you don't know the industry that well, you haven't, because you're going to have a few hiccups, right? You're going to make mistakes and things like that. So you got to be ready for those mistakes. You got to be ready for things to kind of go left, right, when it happens, and then adjust yourself accordingly. Okay, so when I first started, I kept everything condensed. Okay, I was going for anything under 10,000 square foot, because anything over 10,000 square foot in the very beginning kind of scared me a little bit. I thought I might need help. Um, I was a little reluctant to hire people in the beginning. So for the longest, I cleaned each facility, right? Day in and day out. I would do a lot of different hours, right? Because I have maybe 3 to do today, 2 tomorrow. Like, I was kind of all over the place. And then it'll kind of wear it down on you, right? Your body, you kind of wear it down, and then you still have, family and other things outside of business that you have to do. And you kind of get, lazy. You don't even want to do that, right? So you have to hire somebody. So I usually tell people to hire 2 people outside of themselves in the very beginning, right? No family, no friends, but hire like 2 people. Even if you get like 10 accounts, you guys can kind of, like I just said earlier, assign different accounts to different individuals. Okay, you can assign different accounts to different individuals. But like I say, at the end of the day, you want to kind of keep it simple, keep the cost down, and build that revenue up. So when you start making, $500 a month, it beat what you're making now, right? It's a additional to what you're making now. Even if you still have a job, I wouldn't tell nobody to quit their job right off rip. When you get to the point where you're doubling what you're bringing home at your job, that's a good sign that you can quit. But if you want to feel even more better, you will want to triple or quadruple what you're bringing home on a monthly basis at your job. Okay, so when people ask me, Fabio, when do I know to quit my job? How do I know when it's time to quit my job? Now, sometimes you're caught in between a rock and a hard place, because sometimes you might not have anybody working for you, and you still have this job, and then you have maybe 2 or 3 different accounts. And then you find yourself out all night trying to clean these accounts, right? And then you still got to get up and go to work the next day, right? So at some point you have to make a business decision, right? You have to decide if you're going to continue to work, or if you're going to be able to manage working and cleaning, or if you just have to hire someone to do the cleaning. Okay, and once again, no family, no friends. I promise you it's going to pain you later, right? Because, and the big thing, people might ask, well, why not family? I have a great family, and this, that, and the third. The thing is that family get too comfortable, right? Because you're the cousin, you're the brother, you're the sister, you're the aunt, you're the uncle, right? So they get too comfortable with that because of the relationship that they have with you. A third party, or somebody on the outside, they don't know you, and they really need to make money. They really need to be able to, take care of the families, or whatever the case is. So therefore, they're going to pay more attention, we would think. It doesn't always happen this way. That's why training is very, very important. Don't get extra close to your employees, but don't shun them out. Don't get to the point where you have them thinking that, I don't know if I should text Fabio. It's 3 o'clock in the morning. I don't want to wake him up, and I don't know if he's going to feel a certain type of way. You don't want to have that in their mind, right? You want them to know that they can reach out to you at any given time, because see, in the beginning, it's just you and them. You don't have a supervisor or a field supervisor or whatever you would want to call it. So, but when you get to the point where you have supervisors, you can kind of give them that supervisor number, and they can reach out to that supervisor. And that's what you pay that supervisor to do, is to deal with the employees. But in the beginning, you're not having a supervisor. You are the supervisor. You're the owner. You're everything, right? So you don't want them to feel like they can't reach out to you, because then you can miss something. What could be a small problem can become a very big problem tomorrow morning at 8 o'clock in the morning, right? Or 10 o'clock in the morning when the client enters the office. So you want them to feel comfortable with calling you or shooting you a text message or whatever the case is, and you want to respond accordingly. You don't want to call them back yelling, or you don't want to pick up just because they woke you up. Man, this is what you signed up for. So it's not their fault necessarily something happened. But if they don't tell you, then you're going to say, you should have told me, or you should have emailed me, or you should have sent me a text message, right? So you don't have anybody in between you and your employee. When you get to that point, then you can outsource that to your supervisor, right? And have your supervisor handle that. So again, guys, like I say, it's all about structuring, and this is a part of building your system. People, and it didn't come easy for me, and it's still not easy for me on a day-to-day basis. Every single day, I got something different thrown at me, right? I got something, a hook and a crook, right? I got something thrown at me, but I have to assess the situation and then kind of pinpoint which way I want to go with it, right? And I can't give you any one example because multiple things could happen, right? It can either be in your personal life that, you have to pick this personal situation versus this business meeting you got to go to, right? Or something dramatic that happened in your personal life, and now you've already had a booking to do a walkthrough tomorrow. So now you got to kind of see which way you're going to do. Are you going to put the personal situation that's very dire on the back? And it happened, guys. I'm being realistic. You'll see once your business start going, and then you say, okay, I know what Fabio was talking about. The minute you get that one deal, right, you got to go do a walkthrough tomorrow morning. The minute that happens, then somebody get ill in your family, right? You get the phone call at 3 o'clock at night or in the morning, right? You have to be up because you got to go at 8 a.m. or 9 a.m. to do this walkthrough and meet your decision maker and get situated with that. But now you got to rush the hospital, the local hospital, because something happened, right, with a relative or a daughter or your son or your wife or your girlfriend, boyfriend, or whatever the case is, right? So things are going to happen. And I'm just being realistic. That's what we do over here on this channel. We want to be very realistic, okay? But you have to assess how you're going to move. I can't tell you which way to move, right? In terms, I can probably suggest what I would probably do, but I can't tell you, oh, forget your family, stay asleep, focus on this deal you got to get, or reschedule this deal. Because see, again, and that's the thing about picking up phone calls. A lot of people, they give me their phone number on the email and they don't pick up the calls because it might say unknown call or a 800 number or a private call. You don't pick up. But see, there's a lot of numbers that call me, guys, that say a likely scam or a nuisance call, right? And I pick it up anyway, and it actually happens to be somebody that want to talk to me about, doing a walkthrough or something business related. But had I not picked that call up, they may or may not have left a voicemail. People don't leave voicemails too much these days, right? Everybody is real quick with things. They don't want to wait for anything. So if they're not gonna text you, then they're gonna call you. Either way, they expect a right away response from you, right? They either expect you to pick it up, or if they shoot you a text, they expect you to shoot the text right back. Okay, I don't even really leave voicemail. I still give voicemails, right? But they're few and far between, right? So again, if you guys have any specific questions, man, just go ahead and throw it at me. Whether it's about cold calling, and whether it's about door to door, or whether it's about just the intertwines of just your business, right? Let me see here. I got some more emails here, and I try to simplify it, guys, because I didn't have time to print everything off. So if you just joined me, I want you to go ahead and like, share, and subscribe. If you're just joining me, I want you to go ahead and like, share, and subscribe. I would greatly appreciate that here. Let me see here. Okay, now I had one person, and this is going back to the employees. This is going back to the employees. I had one person ask me, how am I able to keep long-term employees? And once again, it all boils down to your training, guys. It all boils down to your training. When you interview them, you can kind of get a good vibe from somebody through an interview, and it all depends on what type of questions you ask them. Why do you want to work for us? What made you fill out an application for us? What do you expect to gain working with our company? Different questions that you put together, and you ask every individual that exact same question, right? So you can have this you can format it and have it typed out or whatever the case is, and you can just work from the same sheet every time you do an interview, right? Because you want to kind of get a good vibe from, the person that you're going to hire, right? You let them know, okay, we do a background check and we do a drug screening. I let my people know that all the time, and I give them the option of letting me know if they believe they will be able to pass. And if not, what drug they do, we can talk about it. As long as they upfront, I would work with them. Ask them about the background. Do you have anything that might show up on your background? Check that that would hinder you from working with us, working with our company. They'll say, well, it's kind of embarrassing, man, but I know you guys gonna see it anyway. But yeah, I got a gun charge and this and this and this, and so I have 5 years probation, and I'm a convicted felon, right? So dependent, excuse me, guys, and you will get this, but again, you got to make people feel comfortable with talking about the situation. You got to find out anyway. But if they be honest with you up front, you might give that person a second chance. I believe in second chances, okay? But when you lie to them and say, oh, everything is clean, it's going to come back clean as a whistle, right? And then you do the background check and then it doesn't come back, then that's not a good look, right? Okay, so again, a lot of that, as far as your training and getting a feel for the individual at the interview part, a lot of that takes, a great talent. It takes time, but you got to kind of understand body language. You got to kind of understand just the thought process. Okay, why are they working for you? Are they working just for the money? Are they working because they just want to get the new Jordans next week? Because sometimes that happens. People come and work for you for a week or two, right? Make just enough money and then they quit, right? So, or you're a second job to them. They have another job. They need more money. And I find those people stay around a long time, guys, because they're motivated. They already have a job and they're looking for another job because they want to make more what? They want to make more money. So I find a lot of times students, college students, and let me see. Okay, let me see here. I'm gonna get right back to you, Marcus. College students, and I find like retirees, people that might work for, a big corporation or like a plant job, like a Ford Motor Company or Chrysler or something like that. They retire. They might be 45, 50 years old. They just need extra income. They don't want to sit at home. I find those people to stay around for a long time, right? And like I say, people that might have multiple jobs, they have a main job and then your company is a second job for them. I find those people to stay around for a long time because, see, they're money motivated, right? They have certain things that they need to do, and in order for them to do it, they need the funds to do it. Okay, so that's why they look for a second job, right? So again, guys, there's a lot of different angles, a lot of different ways with the employees. As I always say, you always want to be hiring. You want to have more applications coming in than you have sites, okay? Because you never want to be put in a situation where you have 5 sites and no applications, because now you're going to hire off of impulse. You're going to put an ad on the internet. You're going to put an ad in the paper or whatever the case is. And then the first 5 people that come in, you're going to hire those first 5 people, right? So you don't want to be put in a situation where you're hiring the first 5 people just because you need to hire somebody, because they may or may not be a perfect fit for your company. That's why you want to interview and want to ask them those little questions that I was suggesting that you ask, because you can get a vibe for them. Okay, so instead of saying, well, you're not going to tell them, well, we're not going to hire you because you're only looking to get a pair of Jordans. But you tell them, okay, thank you, Josh. I'm glad you came in, glad you filled out the application, Josh. But look, we have other people that we have to interview. We're going to re-evaluate your application. We're going to talk amongst our staff, and we're going to be doing callbacks next week, Tuesday. Okay, if you're one of the lucky ones, we'll definitely be giving you a call back. Otherwise, I greatly appreciate your time. If you have any further questions, go ahead and ask me now. If not, then no, we'll possibly talk to you next week, Tuesday. And then if they have any more questions about the job, about how much, they're going to get paid, whatever the case is, the location, whatever the case is, that's the time that they can ask you right now. If they don't, you shake their hand, and you already know when they head out the door, because they said they're just working for Jordans, right? Or they just, they don't really have any massive goals or anything going, right? You already know in your head that you're not going to hire them, right? So that's something that I use. And everywhere USA, they do that. They know if they're going to hire you or not based on the way you look, how you speak, how you, whatever, right? If they like you, if they get good vibes from you, they're not going to just say, okay, Fabio, we're not going to hire you. You have long hair. We don't like the fact that you have long hair. We're not going to hire you. They won't just say that. They'll say, well, okay, Fabio, thank you for coming in. If we're interested, we definitely give you a call back. We're doing callbacks next week, Tuesday. So look out for our call. If you're one of the ones that we decide to call back, we will call you back. If not, thank you for coming in and filling out an application with us, or whatever they say, right? So you guys have any questions? Let me go ahead and check real quick here. I was thinking about starting the cleaners at $10 and the field supervisor $15. Is this good or too much? Well, it could be too much. It depends on what type of income level you have, right? It depends on what type of income you have, I should say. Okay. If you have a great deal of reserves, right, and you can afford to do that, then that would be okay. I do agree that the more you pay an individual, a lot of times, the better they'll work for you, the longer they'll stay with you. Okay. When I first started out, I think I was paying out like $9 an hour. And since then, I didn't went up. So my $9 an hour were okay. Right? I didn't really have no problems. They came to work, but they would have to do certain things. And in the early on stages, I will find myself having to go behind them to do certain, to do the work, right? Go behind them, clean where they missed, this, that, and the third, because they're not assertive enough. They're not paying attention, right? The whole object of the game for them is to get in, slang the mop real quick, walk the vacuum cleaner real quick and get out of there. Okay. Good evening, Serene. So if you can afford to pay $10 to $15 an hour, that would be great. A lot of times you would probably keep your employees for a significant amount of time, paying them, between that 10, 15 range. Okay. But if you can't, then start them at least at the minimum wage. Okay. And you can't start them less than minimum wage. You have to start at least at minimum wage. So you start them at least at your minimum wage rate. And then what you can do is promise them a raise per, their performance. So you can say, okay, based on your performance, we're offering raise in 90 days or 120 days, which is 3 to 4 months. Okay, so if they say, okay, great, and they work and they show up and show out, as I like to say, then you can go ahead and give them a $2 raise or, $2.50 raise or whatever the case is. Okay, so you can always start them less and elevate them up per their performance. Or if they got a significant background, they've been doing it for some years, they seem reliable, you check their reference with other jobs, they say, hey, he was dependable, she was dependable, she came to work, he barely called off, whatever the case is, then, that might be somebody that you can pay up. He's worked for us for 4 years. It might be somebody that you could hire to work for you, right? And they will be dependable and show up and do a great job for you, right? Okay, because again, you have your employees is a great deal of your system, building your system, right? Because that's how it frees up time for you to go out and look for new accounts. That's how it frees up time for you to go out and do, other things, business related, start up new ventures, do, more market research or whatever the case is that you're going to do. And you not have to be so worried about what the employees do. Once you have employees that's really behind you, that's really like my employees. I very rarely, fire anybody. Very rarely. Okay. Now what I would get is people that would still put in applications and somebody's willing to pay them much more than what I'm paying them, and then they'll take a job elsewhere, right? So they'll put in their 2 weeks with us, and then they'll go ahead and take a job elsewhere because they're going to pay them a significant amount of money. Okay. Do you guys have any more questions? I want to make sure I get it because I want to talk about inside your business. That's really what this live is for. Okay. I want to talk about what's going on inside your business, why you're not getting contracts, why you're not having traction, just like what's really going on within your business. All right. Because I don't know the difference. I know my business is exploding. Like I'm getting new contracts, new business all the time. But what's the difference between you and I? The only difference is I probably put in more hours. I probably stay up later, right? And wake up earlier than most, right? And I probably get started quicker. I probably say edit longer. So that way I'm able to get that momentum. I'm able to get that traction. I'm able to get those new contracts, if it makes sense. Okay. My paperwork is nice. You know, that's laid out, right? Your flyers, right? The lead generation, all of that's together. Everything is systematically set up, right? So all you have to do is take it one step at a time. Don't say, well, I want to be like Fabio. I want to be like such and such. I want to have all of this. You will get that in due time. But you want to start where you can start with the finances that you have. Okay. So, and I'm real big on investing in your company. Like I say, guys, whether it's the shirt or whether it's flyers, you pay somebody to do professional flyers, or your paperwork agreement, or just motivational tapes and things like that, or whatever the case. I'm into self development, right, and investing back into your business. Okay, the more you do that, the more you'll see your business elevate. Okay. If you guys don't have any questions for me, I'll go ahead and cut this short. For those individuals like Eric that need to talk to me, go ahead and email me if you're still on here. I'll be able to call you right away following this live. If you guys interested in coaching, you have a question about paperwork. I know one individual said they wanted to ask me about paperwork. Book FabioHart@gmail.com. That's BOOK, F like Frank, A like Apple, B like boy, IOHART at gmail.com. Book FabioHart@gmail.com. Okay, let me see here. I just got shirts last Saturday. I'm getting more costs on. Right. Okay, so get shirts, right? Because you want to create that image. Okay, like when I first started out, guys, like I didn't have like my shirts, at the time, right? I was professional, but I didn't have like the shirts with my name and all of that stuff, right? So because I was so polished, and set up so good, they thought I was an actual part of a franchise, because the franchise got the look. The franchise got the look down packed, right? They go in, they got that look. They got that professionalism in terms of the managers and things like that, right? Now the employees don't always give a damn how they look, so that's where you come in with training. That's part of training, guys. It's part of training. You want to make sure your employees look decent. They keep up the code ethics for your organization, for your company. If they look like shit, then the thought process is they're gonna perform like shit, right? If they look well together and professional, they're gonna, the thought process, they're gonna take their time, they're gonna be professional, and they're gonna do a pretty decent job, right? So all of this is part of your system. Okay, all of this is part of your system. If you guys have any more questions for me, okay, I have a lot of stuff that I wrote down here, but I wasn't expecting to go 2 or 3 hours tonight, but I did want to jump on here. Okay, any software suggestions? You use Excel. Yeah, QuickBooks. QuickBooks is a great program that you use for multiple things. Okay, so if you can purchase the latest edition of QuickBooks, I would suggest that. Okay. Any more questions? Let me see here. Any more questions, guys? Jones James, great, man. I'm just kind of going through the comments here. I like to hear stories like that, dude. If you guys, if you guys got something going, or you watch my videos and you got this contract and you almost wouldn't have got it, but you watched this one video of mine, shoot me an email. Let me know when you guys are doing good, right? Because I don't get a chance to do videos as much. I'm really, really sorry about that, but I'm really working my own business, right? So I would love to do more videos, kind of like I used to do back in the day. But as life go on, guys, you get it, right? Shit change, things happen. You got to keep growing and developing yourself. But in the long run, I don't want to lose you guys, because that's why I do these videos, and that's why I try to stay as active with you guys as possible. Okay, whenever I got something new. I'm not sure if let me go back to charging low. Let me see here. Let me go back to this. Right. Let me go back to this here. To charging low in the beginning, guys. When you go doing your door knocking or doing your phone calling, set up a package deal. If you want to kind of discuss that, how I did it, how you should kind of present that, just shoot me an email and put package deal in the subject line. Okay, and we can kind of discuss that, and I won't even charge you for it. Okay, I won't charge you for it as a I am successful. I got you. I'm about to address that right now with you. But if you guys want to understand how the package deal works, I got videos. But I got so many videos. I don't know specific ones off the top of my head to send you to. But if you watch the other videos, I talk about package deals. I think that's a very, very unique way to start, right? You kind of keep the cost low. Like I say, the caveat to that is that when your business grow, because those prices are so low, it's going to kind of be hard to employ somebody there and really make a profit because the revenues are low. You coming in low. You don't want to come in too low, but you can come in low right at a presentable. That way it help kind of get the revenue generated for you, right? So if you, let's say for an example, you got a building and it's really only take you 2 hours to clean, and you charge $60 per cleaning for that, and you clean it twice a week, right? Okay, so you get the logistics of where I'm going with that. That's $120 per week, right? And that's 4 hours, right? So, and a lot of people don't make that in 4 hours at their job at $10 an hour, right? So that's where I'm saying you guys have made $160, right? Or $140 or $120 or whatever the case is in 1 week's time. That's just 1 week income. Multiply that by 4, and that's what you bring in for that entire month. That's what you build them for. You see what I'm saying, guys? And all you did was charge just $60, $50, $40. Now I wouldn't go below $40. And again, those for the smaller accounts, your 1,500 square feet, 2,000. That's bread and butter. I like those once a week, twice a week, and 3 times a week accounts. A lot of people like those everyday accounts. I'm okay with just having steady revenue coming, steady. I don't have to have a lot of days, right? But I want to be able to, make a small profit, like in the very, very beginning. And once you get that one account that's, $50 a day, right? And they only need you for twice a week, right? So that's $100 a week, right? Multiply that by 4, that's $400 just for this small account. And it only takes you maybe 12 hours, right? For the entire month to clean. You see what I'm saying, guys? So 12 hours. And then when you see, 12 hours at work, and you're like, wow, 12 hours here is 12 hours versus 12 hours at work. You kind of get an idea of where I'm going, right? You're at $10 an hour, $12 an hour, whatever the case is, $9.75 an hour, wherever you guys get paid, right? And then you do this $50 job, small little building. You see how quick the income racks up. Okay, so again, if you want to talk about package deals, and I'm just kind of condensing this stuff, guys. I'm kind of condensing it for you right now, so you can kind of get a visual of what I'm talking about. If you keep it low in the beginning, like I say, in the long term, you might not be able to staff it really, right? Because you got to pay them, whatever, if it's a 2-hour account, you pay them $10 an hour. It's a $50, okay, so that's $30 roughly. Per day you pay them $10, right, out of the $50, right? So that's $30 left. That's $20 going to them per day, basically. You see what I'm saying? I'm just kind of simplifying everything so you can get the big picture of it, the visualization of what I'm talking about. Okay, so but kind of keep it low, and you'll pick up a lot of new contracts in the beginning. Okay, I used to then think this way because I'm like, man, I got to get paid what I'm worth. But then nobody knew you in the beginning. Like you had to get your feet wet, right? So after you start building that buzz, and after you start, because what I would do is lean on other contracts. When I got, contracts in certain areas, I say, yeah, we just picked up, other contracts in this area. So I was just building, traction in this immediate area. yeah, we have the church down the street and this and this and that, right? So, and it helped me out a lot. Hey, how's it going, guy?
Good. How you doing?
Okay. So that's kind of how it goes, guys. Let me go across to this other building real quick. Here, this is my site. We're responsible for the grounds. You guys probably seen me do a tour of this before. That's their staff. I kind of don't like when they walk in on me. Success. I'm about to go ahead and jump right into it with you. See here. Okay. See, one of my staff members is running late. I don't see their vehicle. Okay. All right, guys. So let me see here. It's hard to get contracts where I live. What should I do? If it's hard to get contracts in your immediate area, I am successful. You can always go to a neighboring area where you live, right? So if you're in a small town and you have a big city and you're trying to get contracts in a big city area, you can always just go. If you stay in a small town and it's hard to get contracts in the smallest town, you can always go to the big city, right, and get contracts out of the bigger city. Or you can always take a chance and relocate. I did that before, right? Now it might not, could sound easier than it is, or harder than, you know, easier than the sound. But the thing is, at the end of the day, whatever your goal is, if your goal is to do this business, become profitable in this business, really make a lot of money in this business, it can be done. You can also switch up your strategy, right? Maybe you're coming in too high with your prices. I don't know if you're even getting walkthroughs, but if you're getting walkthroughs and you're just not closing, then it could be you're not asking for the sale. A lot of people don't even ask for the sale, okay? So I tell people all the time, you want to make sure that you thank them for their time and ask them for the sale, you know? Just that gesture alone could be the difference between night and day, right? So you do want to do that, okay? You guys have any more questions for me? Let me see here. Let's see. You have any more questions for me, guys? This is the site. This is a plant here, billion-dollar company. They do business all over the world. This particular site, I think I told you guys, it paid me between 10 and 15 grand a month, just to see. It's a factory, just like the little tankers right here. It's a chemical company. Here, let me show you guys here. Those are the tankers right there with the numbers on them. The white numbers you see right there. I mean the black numbers. It's tankers. These right here. You know, the drums over there. I don't know if you guys can see the blue. It's right there. So, again, this is one of, you know, this is a big contract for me. Let me see here. So, but anyway, you guys have any more questions for me? Let me see here. Send a fax to the local doctor near you. Send it overnight. It'll be the first thing in the morning. You have to promote yourself. Yeah, see, I don't like blindly sending faxes. I do think that works, but I don't like just sending a fax just because I got their fax number. I got a strategic way that I deal with the fax. I mostly talk about that on my coaching calls and things like that. I think I even mentioned it on these videos at one point, but I don't like blindly just having their fax number and just cold faxing them, right? Just sending them a fax just because I have their fax number. But if you guys don't have any more questions, I'll go ahead and let you go.
Let me see. Stay hungry. That's absolutely right. If you do have questions following this live, go ahead and email me, Book Fabio Hart, no matter what it's about, coaching, your business, something that you wanted to talk about here on live, but you were scared to ask over the live, so you want to email it, whatever the case is, bookfabiohart@gmail.com. That's BOOK, F like Frank, A like Apple, B like boy, IOHART at gmail.com.